I'm Rachel Rubio, and this presentation is on media and foreign policy. Media is a plural noun and includes the Sunday paper, radio stations you listen to on your way to work or school, TV programs, social media, and even those biased commentators. While media can refer to something actual, it often references a usually negative abstraction. The Founding Fathers understood if there was going to be such a thing as American exceptionalism, it would be predicated on belief in free press. Free press arms citizens with information so they can make informed decisions in their own best interest. Media is a place where countries like China, Russia, and Turkey play out authoritarian control of information by flooding the internet with state-sponsored websites and denying visas to international reporters and journalists. ISIS used to openly network with its followers on Twitter and YouTube, but communication was easily surveilled, so it has since moved to the dark web. Media is viewed as a battlefield where cyber is the new frontier. Banking, power, and water grids can be hacked, causing entire regions to go dark. Personal data can be stolen, and fake news can be unleashed to create hate and rage. Part of wielding power today means dominating global conversation on social media. Beginning with 9/11, Al-Qaeda had masterminded the attack so the whole world was watching when the second plane hit. Everyone watching witnessed the deaths of thousands. Today, news cover terrorism and other crises stories with 24/7 reporting and on-the-scene interviews, along with dramatic photos, videos pulled from Twitter, and talk about motives. Terrorism coverage serves in part to publicize the tragedy and show that there is an ongoing threat. Terrorists rarely have sufficient human and financial capital to defeat enemies on ground, so they resort to publicity. It is said that terrorists thrive on oxygen of publicity, and free media in an open society are vulnerable to exploitation and manipulation. Terrorists attract recruits by targeting where there are lots of everyday citizens carrying cameras. In late July 2017, Facebook, YouTube, Microsoft, Google, and Snapchat launched the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism. Their mission was to disrupt terrorists' ability to use the internet in furthering their causes while still respecting human rights. Social media tools of political sabotage are sophisticated and effectively invisible. It is capable of micro-targeting anyone. Democracies rise and fall on the public opinions of citizens. In the 2016 presidential election, Russian intelligence agencies funded troll farms that spread paid ads across Facebook and created fake American profiles to pass along fake news. The Russians repurposed social media posts from real Americans to exacerbate existing anger about immigration, race, religion, and patriotism. Russian involvement played a major role in how the citizens voted the way they did in that election. In the 21st century, American media have had extraordinary influence on international affairs and foreign policy, with social media being the biggest impact. Soon after the creations of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, U.S. foreign policy understood it needed divert resources to address new realities of engagement. In 2007, Duncan McInnes, the principal deputy coordinator in the Bureau of International Information Programs, laid out an argument for why the State Department needed to have a robust outward-facing internet presence. His argument was along the lines of terrorists exploiting freedom of the internet to spread their propaganda to the youth who are the biggest internet users. 3 months later, State Department joined the online world with a website that would encourage a two-way conversation between America and people in other countries. 3 years later, the Obama State Department archived the website and came to the conclusion it would now get its message out in the contemporary social media landscape. Obama's administration had tried to intimidate and control press by means of intrusive measures against reporters, including spying on journalists by monitoring their phone records and issuing subpoenas to reporters, trying to force them to reveal their sources. This raised serious questions about the administration's respect for the freedom of press. Soon after Trump was elected, there was a 77-minute press conference where Trump criticized the dishonest media, calling the news fake. Trump shifted the way institution of presidency speaks to the public. He created a Real News TV program that aired on his Facebook page and promised news of the week. The credibility of this TV program was questioned since Trump's daughter-in-law was the lead newscaster. I'm sure we have all seen or heard about Trump's Twitter usage. His tweets altered the way media monitored the executive branch. Now, there are always fact-checkers at the newsroom to confirm statements, and journalists start their days early and end them late at night, since Trump is known to tweet at all hours of the day. His tweets are more than just his opinion and news. His tweets have been dismissive of the press's First Amendment, saying the news media is the enemy of the American people. Since Trump has so many followers on social media, his tweets get a lot of attention through likes, retweets, and replies, which spread his message fast and far. What is lost for the country in Trump's media attack is the Founding Fathers' deeply reasoned argument for why freedom of the press is fundamental for a democracy. It was soon understood and recognized that the most cost-effective way to get messages out is letting audiences do the work. Messages easily go viral when passed on, retweeted, posted, or liked. Twitter is the platform of choices for foreign ministries and heads of state and government to get their policy message to the public. Trump uses Twitter more than others. Twitter has become the official public voice of President Trump. His lashing out style on social media has alarmed both his opposition and political allies. The chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee expressed his concern, saying, "His tweets have hurt us as it relates to negotiations that were underway by tweeting things out. We could be heading to World War III with the comments he's making." His unfiltered use of social media has also brought up tensions, especially his comments on the London bombing. His tweets were speculation, which was unhelpful and dangerous because he made announcements that shared intelligence and undermined the investigations. The greatest foreign policy success for the U.S. is the export of the right to a free press and free expression. The U.S. government needs to continue to uphold rights and standards of the First Amendment if the U.S. still wants to be the world's leading democracy. In our 21st century, we want media to play a positive role in international affairs. There are some questions we must address to fix the current issues with media. How can the news media better serve the public? How can media improve connections to family, friends, community, the nation, and the world? And finally, what can we ourselves do to bring that future into being? This goes with the saying, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.